brings the 2-2 pitch to Edgar Martinez now. And the fastball swung on and hit to deep center field. Bernie Williams goes back, and it is get out the rye bread and the mustard this time, Grandma. It is a grand salami, and the Mariners lead it 10-6.
When you're the big dog, you don't have to worry about the pups. And in 1996, the Seattle Mariners were big dogs. The reigning ALDS champions had a lot going right for them at the time. Randy Johnson, Ken Griffey Jr., Alex Rodriguez, Edgar Martinez were just a few of the names on this star-studded roster, and going into August, things were looking really good for the M's. Except for the fact that they were being bussed to Appleton, Wisconsin for a mid-season scrimmage. Seriously, how bored was Lou Piniella? Appleton, Wisconsin. Who lives there? Who knows? Who cares? This entire town has the same capacity as the Kingdome. Appleton in Menominee means watches for them place, which is fitting because the only thing to do in Appleton is watch people drive right through it. Appleton is the host of a minor league baseball team, the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers, keeping up with the long tradition of minor league baseball teams having shitty names. Not to be confused with the Wisconsin Brats, the Wisconsin Udder-Tuggers, or the Milwaukee Milkmen, which, believe it or not, are all minor league baseball teams in Wisconsin. Seriously, look it up. They're real. The Timber Rattlers are the high A affiliates of the M's, and Big Brother was coming for a visit. The Mariners were going to scrimmage the Timber Rattlers in a sort of varsity team on steroids versus 7th grade recess squad sort of way. Despite the mismatch, I'm sure these folks were just excited to have something going on, considering they pretty much sold the place out. There was only one problem: rain. And on the biggest day of these people's summer, no, their lives, Mother Nature acted like the biggest buzzkill imaginable and poured liquid disappointment all over the crowd. And Lou Piniella, skipper of the Mariners, known for being so calm, level-headed, and rational, said, "Gee, fellas, I don't know if we should be playing baseball today. It looks awful wet out there, and I'd hate for someone to get hurt," or something like that. So here they were, a stadium full of sad, wet people, a rainy field, and a GM who wouldn't let the star attractions play. Mike Burling, the 24-year-old GM of the Timber Rattlers, knew that he had to do something to give these people a show. So, he suggested a home run derby. Thankfully, Piniella agreed. Here's how it works. The Mariners select Alex Rodriguez, Ken Griffey Jr., and Dan Wilson. Not bad, considering Ken Griffey and Alex Rodriguez are top 5 players of all time at their position, and Dan Wilson also is probably a top 5 baseball player named Dan of all time. The Timber Rattlers selected Luis Tinoco, Joaquin Contreras, the team's hitting coach, and a guy named David Arias. More on him later. The crowd started to get excited as word spread around the stadium. Everyone within a square mile was expecting Ken Griffey Jr. to put on a show. Unfortunately for them, Griffey couldn't hit a ball to save his life, which is completely out of character for him because he's got the most home run derby wins of any MLB player. Apparently those minor league fields just weren't doing it for him that day. Rodriguez was hitting mostly grounders, and Wilson managed to send a few over the fence. Good for you, Dan. But on a field full of baseball royalty, it was an unknown that stole the show. It was time for Arias to take the plate, and he fucking delivered. He sent moonshots left, right, and center field. Urban legend, scratch that, mid-sized rural city legend, says that Arias hit a ball 600 plus feet into Interstate 41. David had slain Goliath. It's a cool story, but David Arias wasn't a no-name forever. He actually went on to have a pretty good MLB career of his own. He was a 3-time World Series champ, a 7-time Silver Slugger, a World Series MVP. When he got called up to Minnesota, he ended up taking his dad's last name, Ortiz. David Arias became David Ortiz. Oh, and he also ended up winning a home run derby of his own.
Ortiz fights it off center field. Damon running to the plate.